Ed Reardon's Week by Christopher Douglas and Andrew Nickolds. Episode 3, Anger Management.
You have done well, Mr. Scott. With Control's rarely bestowed compliment ringing in his ears, Brett Scott flung the Testarossa off the final hairpin and onto the Grand Corniche. Casino, 10 kilometres, read the sign. Brett would be there in 30 seconds. Yeah, no, wait a minute. Does that mean he's going too slowly? Multiply by 8 and divide by 5. 756 miles an hour. Maybe that is a bit fast even for the Testarossa. Is it? What if it's a built-up area? I still got Sebastian Folkes' phone number. He'll know, surely.
Monday. Brett Scott wasn't the only one about to enjoy some serious downtime. His creator was too, though without the lethally beautiful Carla at his shoulder. Berkhamsted Civic Centre may not have the glamorous trappings of the casino, but it does offer a buffet and soft drinks to all those council taxpayers attending the newly instigated meeting rejoicing in the name of the Stakeholders Forum.
So, OK, if it's all right with everybody, I'll start. I'm Sue Fishpool, Head of Stakeholder Communications Engagement. Bit of a mouthful, I know.
Yes.
And what this forum is absolutely about is an opportunity for you, the stakeholders, to offer feedback and input your concerns. Also to generally interact with issues that might be relevant to you.
Excuse me, how does that differ from inputting our concerns?
Yes, good point.
Don't listen to him, love. He's just trying to cause trouble. And you're doing very well, Sue.
Anyway, we all know why he's here. That table of sandwiches at the back.
That's where you're wrong, Stan. I'm discharging my civic responsibilities.
Oh, some of you know each other already. That's a positive. So, does anybody have any comments on, for example, our mission statement?
Ah, yes, your promise to put a smile on the face of the community.
I think that's lovely.
Yes, except the smile's promptly wiped off again by the 13% rise in council tax.
Yes, that's what we'd like to know, where our money's going.
Well, yes, that's very valid.
There you are, Pearl, you're valid.
Because one thing we want to communicate very clearly to stakeholders is we're listening.
Albeit at a premium rate, no doubt.
And if you turn to page 126 of the brochure, you'll find a cake chart of where exactly your money is going, which we happen to think is something we should be open about.
How much did the brochure cost? You can be open about that for a start.
Yes, so let's activate some feedback about the brochure.
Well, where to begin? This picture of the mayor on the cover, her chain of office flying as she breakdances with the traffic warden. The caption reads, "Your mayor lets her hair down." Your is spelt Y-O-U''RE.
Yes.
Well, that's wrong. Page 3, misspelling of Mandela. Oh, yes, agenda with a J. Exactly how much of the cake was spent on education?
Oh, him and his spelling. We're not in your writing class now.
Quite right, Oliver. Shut up. No use in complaining now the barbarians are well and truly through the gates.
No, I'm sorry. We can't tolerate racism in this forum.
I'm being racist, merely pointing out that this brochure, as well as being translated into Gujarati, Swahili and Albanian, seems to be written in the purest drivel. And just look at all this twaddle about celebrating cultural diversity. If what you mean is having an underpaid steel band playing in an overpriced French market, why not say so?
Now you're demeaning the forum.
Really? I doubt you know the meaning of the word.
I'm afraid we've got a boundary issue here.
Oh, cricket. I thought that was elitist. Right, let's have a look at these sandwiches. Oh, I think I'm going to interact with these.
No refreshments, I'm afraid, until we've settled on the order of business.
Sourced by Waitrose. That accounts for at least some of the council tax, right?
Goes back and vacate this facility.
Very well, just take a few prisoners. And an extra 13%.
Now!
Oh, dear.
Somebody got out of the wrong side of bed. It's a single one, I'll be bound.
Oh, silence, the lot of you! This instant!
Oh, all right, here you are, Elgar. Half a Scotch egg for you, half for me. We're both stakeholders, aren't we? And see why you shouldn't stand for the council. Probably spell a lot better. Right, where were we? Brett Scott flung the keys of the Testarossa onto the blackjack table, looked the dealer squarely in her cold, dead, mean-spirited provincial eyes, and said, twist. Is it? Or is it raise?
Better leave another message on Sebastian's answering machine. Ever since the sensitive, curly-haired chronicler of World Wars I and II turned his attention to breathing new life into the James Bond canon, it's become acceptable for writers of literary fiction to lend our talents to the celebrity novel. Not that we have much choice in the matter, since publishers decided to eschew literature in favour of addle-brained miscellanies, booky wooks, and other detritus climbing up the windows of Waterstones. Nevertheless, a job is a job, and £15 per 1,000 words is, as I'm sure brother folks would agree, a reasonable return for bump-starting the so-called writing career of one of our leading Formula One drivers, whose name I did write down somewhere. But no matter, as I doubt I'll ever meet him. I think that's folksy now. Must have been watching the cricket, eh, Elgar? Probably means he's got Satanta, lucky bugger. Hello?
You have done well, Mr. Reardon.
Ping. Did you get my chapter 28?
Ed, it's brilliant. I can smell the burning rubber.
Well, I did write it rather quickly, 2.6 seconds faster than chapter 27.
Just one tiny thing.
How tiny?
Small as that.
You forget, Ping, I can't see you.
OK, my finger and thumb are really close together. Teeny, tiny. Thing is, we're probably going to have to change the author.
But I thought this boy was the sensation of the starting grid.
He hasn't managed to get off it yet in 3 goes, and Felix is getting a little bit twitchy. So, he was at Ascot over the weekend, and he saw this brilliant new jockey who's just won the Derby, and he's going to be the next captain on A Question of Sport, and probably on the new season of Strictly.
Sounds a genuine Corinthian. So, Felix thinks he's got a book in him as well, does he?
So, if you could just change all the fast car driving-y references and make it more horse racing-y stuff.
What?
You know, just do a word search and change car to horse. It's lemon squeezy. We did it on the Ultimatum Covenant, when that TV chef poisoned his customers. What we did, we dropped him, put the GMTV weather girl on the cover and tweaked the text. So, tiramisu, tsunami.
Inspired.
Yeah, he's such a great writer, Julian Barnes. Horsepower.
What about it?
It works for both cars and horses, right? See? Job's half done already.
No, I'm sorry, Ping. Not even torturing me like Brett Scott in chapters 9 to 13 would make me do that.
Then I'm afraid, Mr. Reardon, you will not see your £150 for the first 10,000 words.
What are you doing?
I'm purring while I stroke my Persian cat. End of the week, OK, sweetie? Bye-bye.
What now, for God's sake? Yes?
Mr. Reardon?
Yes?
I'm Community Officer Steve Williams.
So you are. But what it doesn't say on the laminated badge is whether you're a proper policeman or just one of those who walk around in pairs wearing a stab jacket and drinking a can of Fanta.
You're thinking of special constables. So I am, in fact, a member of the outreach team attached to the Hertfordshire Constabulary.
Why are you ticking that box? Am I some kind of statistic later to appear on the council's ridiculous cake chart? Why are you ticking that other box?
I was just wondering, sir, have you ever thought about anger management?
Oh, spare me the nanny state jargon. Haven't the police got anything better to do than regurgitate psychobabble from the pages of Guardian Society when there are people living across the road there who treat the roof of the bus stop as their own personal rubbish dump?
So that'll be a no. I wonder if we could step inside for a minute, sir?
Why?
Save you the embarrassment of discussing this in front of your neighbours?
Oh, I've long since ceased to care what they think. All right, you'd better come in. Anyway, embarrassment's a human emotion which I doubt they'd recognise. In fact, feral's too good a word. You know, I heard someone on the radio describing conditions on the M6 as feral the other day.
Right, you are. Just get the old leaflets out. Now, what we're offering is a day-long course in, as I say, anger management. 3 hours in the morning, 3 in the afternoon.
Does that mean that there's...
No, lunch is not provided, I'm afraid.
I'd have thought that was more likely to cause anger rather than manage it. But what I'd like to know is why you think I'm in need of this course with the expensive-looking leaflets with Monk's scream on the front.
I have to advise you that a complaint's been made about your behaviour in the Civic Centre the other day.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, red mist come down, did it? Stakeholders Forum, ring any bells?
Oh, for heaven's sake, I was merely pointing out the illiteracy of the council tax brochure.
A little bit of a wobble. We've all had them. Put me in the same car as my mother-in-law. It's so easy, isn't it? When you're convinced you're in the right, you lose sight of the bigger picture, yeah? The wider perspective.
But I was in the right. I counted at least 24 misspellings. I've circled them all here. Look.
Yeah, I really do think you'd benefit from going on our Don't Lose It course, because it wasn't just the little wobble at the Civic Centre, was it? We've got a few more little instances, shall we say?
Such as?
Well, where to begin?
The litany of alleged instances of my antisocial behaviour, provided by, among others, the malodorous kebab shop downstairs, the damnably noisy kindergarten round the corner, and its surpassingly inefficient lollipop woman, all added up to a picture that was of course unfair, though not, I'm bound to admit, entirely unrecognisable. "It will take many years," read my final report at Shrewsbury, "for the school to recover from E.H. Reardon's lamentable display after losing the debate. This House believes that pop music is better than classical." But due to pressure of work, I declined Outreach Officer Steve Williams' invitation to attend his anger management course, notwithstanding the veiled threat that if I carried on in this way, prosecution would almost certainly follow. Bring it on, as they say on the Conservative front bench these days. I look forward to my appearance in court as much as Brett Scott is looking forward to meeting the challenges of his new career, riding in the Grand National while dodging the bullets of the Taliban.
You can't have that. Dick Francis has already done it. And he had a man-trap concealed in Beecher's Brook. That was a real cracker.
I thought his missus wrote them all.
I bet he wasn't doing the hoovering while she was doing the writing. Same old story.
The sexual politics of this, Olive, are neither here nor there. The skill is to write in the way that the sports personality would write if he or she were able to.
Well, don't you mind someone else getting the credit while you do all the work?
Pearl, if you think this class is about me telling you writing is glamorous, then I'm afraid you've wasted your £1.50.
Oh, £1.35. Concessions.
Quite, but the point remains the same. You knuckle down to the job, you deliver on time, you do the rewrite. If nobody likes it, you start another one. It's tough. Get over it. As in fact Brett Scott says to his horse at the chair fence.
But why does it have to be rubbish?
Because at the moment that's what the market demands.
If you hadn't got thrown out of the council meeting, you might not have to be writing tosh.
Why?
You could be writing the community play about local taxation.
Oh, is that what the combined brain power of Stakeholder Communications engagement came up with?
Yes, a celebration in words and music of council services down the ages.
We're all hoping to get parts in it.
I don't suppose the competition's all that fierce, especially as you'll no doubt be making your own costumes.
No, it's a proper thing. They've already commissioned that old hippie who lives on the houseboat to write the music.
He'll need to use his imagination. Never paid a penny of tax in his life.
What do you mean, commissioned?
Oh, there's a budget. 75,000 according to Sue Fishpool. All they need now is a local writer.
Bet you wish you'd button your lip, don't you?
See where losing your temper gets you? Might even have a crack at it myself.
So when's the next Stakeholders Forum?
Never you mind. You're bad anyway.
Not necessarily.
So, there you are. Those are my little trigger points. Niggly things that get my blood pumping. Hope the wife didn't hear any of that.
My campaign to rehabilitate myself into society, and more to the point, onto the council gravy train, began the following morning at Steve Williams's anger management course. Seated on beanbags, I and my fellow malcontents, several of whom I recognised from the post office queue and the newspaper table in the library, were subjected to the ubiquitous weapon of self-importance, which is PowerPoint.
Again, SLAM, yeah? Stress Level Alarm Mechanism. Right, now let's get some input from you guys. That's what this Don't Lose It course is all about. Let's open this up, right now, here, yeah? Shout out a few things that tend to really get your goats.
Well, split infinitives like that. Being told to familiarise myself with safety instructions on the train. Dr. Pamela Stevenson. People who say beg the question when they mean ask.
OK, right, anybody else?
I haven't finished yet. Slushy American film music appearing in the Classic FM Hall of Fame.
Great, good list.
Banoffee. Boxes of organic produce.
Why do they make you angry?
Well, I don't know, they just do. People who tell you they're detoxing. This assumption that one composts. Makers of short films. Oh, PowerPoint displays.
OK, stop you there. Sorry, I don't know your first name because you're not wearing your badge.
Ah, the insistence that one wears a name badge wherever there's a table with lime juice and static electricity in the carpet.
Right. Now then, what have all these things got in common?
Asininity.
Yes, whatever it means. What else? Give up?
I often do.
Anybody?
Him.
Is the right answer. The one common denominator is you.
Mr. Reardon.
Don't you think it's better that we're all on first name terms?
No.
Well, you're the connection between all these annoying things. So maybe, just maybe, they aren't quite so annoying after all. And the problem lies somewhere else, Mr. Reardon. Yes?
It's Ed.
Okay, Ed! Great! You may not realise this, but you've just taken your first step to becoming a nicer guy to be with. But perhaps more important than that, a nicer guy to yourself.
Good.
You know, you can call this whatever you want. Anger management, psychotherapeutic self-consciousness raising. But I like to think of this room as a one-stop shop with a mirror inside it. Are you okay with that?
Yes, just about.
And I want you guys to take a look at yourselves in that mirror every time something annoys you and you feel yourself becoming obstropulous.
I think you mean...
Yes, Ed?
Nothing.
Okay, let's burst some balloons.
Morning, Pink. There we are.
Oh, what's that?
The Armageddon Factor. 95,000 words of nail-biting international espionage with a horse-racing spin.
Oh, right.
As instructed, Brett Scott has been transformed from a maverick racing driver into a daredevil jockey.
Couldn't you just have emailed it to me?
Yes, but I wanted to bring in my invoice personally, so 1,400 quid, plus an extra £3.75 for the complete list of Derby winners I've added at the end. Rather a nice touch, I thought.
Yeah, it looks really great.
It's a disc.
Yeah, but I can feel the racecourse atmos coming off it. One tiny thing.
What?
Somebody mentioned a jolly.
Hello, Felix.
You know, I was at Ascot the other day, in the Babylon publishing box. They flew us out there in a chopper, gave us a disgraceful quantity of alcohol and 5,000 smackers in cash for a flutter. What lovely people.
I take it those abused childhood memoirs they publish are selling pretty well, then?
Indeed they are. I'm so pleased for them. What are you doing here, Reardon? On the scrounge again?
I was delivering the new Brett Scott manuscript.
Ah, yes, the Olympic diver.
No, the champion jockey.
Ping, haven't you told him yet?
Yeah, Ed, you're really going to hate us for this.
Oh, don't dress it up. Just tell him what he's got to do.
So what have I got to do?
Thing is, Ed, this jockey's just been arrested for, horse fixing and bringing drugs back into the country when he's been racing abroad.
Yeah, frightful pity. We had such high hopes for him as an author, but he turns out to be a wrong 'un. But the good news is, there's this marvellous young diver. I saw him on television.
Oh, so things got a bit dull in the hospitality box, did they?
Yeah, well, they did. Some of those races are interminable. Anyway, this boy's clearly going all the way, so we need to get his first novel onto the shelves and diving off again to the mutual benefit of all concerned.
Right.
So you're going to have to tweak the text again. I'm really, 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 really sorry, Ed.
Oh, don't be. He's a lazy bugger. It'll do him good. Anyway, it's his patriotic duty.
Just a minute, Felix. I'll deal with this. Look, Ed, before you fly off the handle...
No. All right, what I'll do is I'll go back to my earlier draft before Brett Scott was a jockey and just change driver to diver. Shouldn't take long. What I could also do is put a giant man-eating octopus in the Olympic pool. And it might be guarding the secret entrance to Osama bin Laden's underwater lair? Not sure.
And you can stop that silly sarcasm. It hasn't helped your career at all.
Ed, why are you pulling that face?
I'm just looking at myself in an imaginary mirror.
Thursday. With the prospect of immediate payment sinking faster than Brett Scott with an octopus tentacle tugging at his foot, it was time to seek other means of remuneration. The council coffers looked hard to breach in view of my recent encounter with Sue Fishpool, but buoyed up by my anger management certificate and pen, I was hopeful that, like Richard III, I could turn my discontent, if not into glorious summer, then at least a couple of £100 for a treatment for the community play. And like Shakespeare's differently abled anti-hero, I set about wooing the Lady Anne, a.k.a. said Fishpool, who I found having a crafty fag outside the goods entrance at the Civic Centre before the next Stakeholders meeting.
Rain's easing off, anyway.
Yes.
Not long till the meeting starts.
No.
Just time to make a few notes for a book I'm working on. Poisoned diving board, ? Ah, I see you've noticed the pen I'm using.
Actually, I hadn't.
Well, thereby hangs a tale, because after our previous contretemps, for which I apologise unreservedly so, I resolved to do something about it and get myself an attitude makeover. Hence the pen saying, "Don't lose it, I didn't."
No apostrophe in didn't, but never mind, life's too short. Changed man, I think you'll find.
So it's nothing to do with the police officer coming round and threatening you with prosecution?
I was about to do it anyway, but I won't pretend it didn't concentrate the mind wonderfully, to quote one of my illustrious predecessors, Dr. Johnson's ghostwriter.
Well, an apology's a start anyway.
Oh, believe me, it is only a start. I intend to put as much back into the Stakeholders Forum, and indeed into the community, as I possibly can, really.
Yes, well, I probably shouldn't have called you a pompous public school twit.
No, you should. You absolutely should. Anyway, it's all in the past. The past. What an extraordinary time that was. Especially in this community. Fascinating events, fascinating taxes. The story behind every one.
So you're a writer then?
Ah, got me. Mea culpa. Guilty. I normally tell people I'm a civil servant or something in case they say, "Ooh, you should put me in one of your books." I mean, you wouldn't believe the tedious, bloody... You know, but they're nice people, and it's good of them to take an interest.
So what are you working on at the moment?
Oh, just something to pay the income tax. Tax! There we go again. I mean, people think it's a dull subject, but there's the windows, salt, tithes. I mean, you've got a whole history of a community contained in that one controlling idea. Yep, somebody's going to do a hell of a play about that one of these days.
Look, I think it's time to go in, but how would you feel about talking to the Cultural Enablement Committee?
Oh, they sound right up my street. Ah, the public library, gymnasium for the mind.
You again. Just wait, please.
Yes, of course. So much more user-friendly since they did away with those stuffy old silence notices.
I'm busy.
Right, don't let me disturb you. When you've finished that very difficult-looking Sudoku, perhaps you wouldn't mind directing me to the local historical records section?
Don't ask me. Look on the microfiche.
Right, and where?
Give us some change for the Ram Rider.
There you are, dear. And don't forget, all games are free between 2 and 4 if you just show me your ASBO.
Thanks.
Ah, bless him. And this microfiche, where would that be?
I already told you. First floor.
So you did. Thank you.
And don't go hogging the computer. And no looking at porn.
Certainly not.
If you want to do that, you'll have to fill in one of these.
Oh. Hello, Stan.
Oh, what are you doing here? Taking your own books out again so you can get your public lending right money out? I thought they'd stop you doing that.
No. But tell me, what draws you to the online Doomsday Book?
20 grand. That's what they're paying the writer of the community play, more fools them.
Are they really?
So I thought I'd have a go. Try and claw back some of that council tax I have to fork out.
Good idea.
Pity you kick yourself into touch. So what are you doing?
Oh, just some, family history. See how far the name Elgar goes back. But what's the plot of this play you're writing, if you don't mind me asking?
I thought I'd make it about the Aylesbury Seven in olden times. They're my heroes. They went to the gallows rather than pay the sheep tax to the Lord of the Manor.
Oh, so we're seeing this from the tax evader's point of view.
We certainly are. I'm going to call it Shove It Up Your Doglet.
Right. There doesn't seem to be much of a celebration of local authority funding through the ages. Isn't that what the brief was?
Well, you're always telling us to write what we believe in, and this is what I am. This is my moral compass.
Well, you carry on exactly as you are, Stan. That 20,000 is as good as yours.
I think so.
Friday. It's always sad to see a fellow writer fall by the wayside, but I thought it best to let Stan travel the rocky road to rejection and rewrite hell by himself, a lesson that would stand him in good stead in the long term, by which time, with a bit of luck, the fee for the community play would be safely in the bank account of the Berkhamsted 1. Sorry, Berkhamsted 2, of course. I planned to make my own celebration of local taxation down the ages, ooze political correctness from every page of the script, from an opening multi-faith maypole dance to the final big production number, We're the Boys in Band G. But that would have to wait until Brett Scott's slightly less politically correct triumph over his rival divers and the forces, make that swarthy forces, of international terrorism, the delectable and ever-versatile Carla at his side. And in an ergonomic bikini, obviously.
Just one tiny thing.
Yes?
He can't be a diver anymore.
Why not?
Really, Ed, don't you read the Sunday newspapers?
Normally I would, but that often goes hand in hand with having time off at the weekend instead of spending 72 hours rewriting the Armageddon Factor.
Well, if you had, you'd have seen that wretched boy they were calling the Droitwich Dolphin covered himself in disgrace at the regional championships.
What did he do?
He only disputed the judge's decision on his final dive.
Well, that's not so bad.
And he pushed her in the pool and then didn't use the foot bath on his way out to the car park where he smashed his trainer's windscreen.
Thereby incurring a life ban.
And with it, I imagine, yet another change of career for Brett Scott.
Afraid so.
Oh, really? Don't let's get into the blame game. It's just a pity the poor boy didn't have an anger management course available to him. Hey-ho.
Oh, so that's what you've done, Ed. We wondered what had happened to you. That's why you haven't gone berserk and all red in the face like you do.
The betting in the office was that you had Alzheimer's.
Yeah, and that you were forgetting to lose it, because your brain had gone all...
You've just cost me a £5, Reardon.
Well, take it out of the Brett Scott fee whenever I get it. So, what form of sporting endeavour should he turn his hand to next?
Well, his feet, actually.
The floor of the velodrome swam before Brett's eyes as the drug administered by Dubchenko at the embassy cocktail party 12 hours before the start of the Madison began to take hold. Oh, God. As the 48-gear something bike, Google that in a minute, lurched to a sickening 180-degree angle, Brett saw out of the corner of his eye Carla being manhandled by two leather-jacketed...
Hello, it's Sue Fishpool. We read your synopsis for the community play, and I've got some news for you.
Yeah. Hello? Yes, Sue, hello.
Oh, hi, Ed. Yes. Well, Ed, as I say, the committee's read your synopsis.
And did they like it?
Yes, they liked it.
And?
Well, really, it's just one tiny thing.
Well, if one tiny thing means what it usually means, which is that the whole lot has to be completely rewritten to celebrate the Enclosures Act of 1805, or the Chartists, or the Tolpuddle Martyrs, or the bloody women getting a bloody vote, involving another 4 nights of me going without sleep, is that what you mean by a tiny thing?
No, I was just going to ask you if you were VAT registered and where we should pay the cheque to, but if that's your attitude, we'll go somewhere else.
No, it isn't my attitude. Well, it used to be, but it isn't now. Sue, listen, no, please. No, gone.
Ed Reardon's Week starred Christopher Douglas with Rachel Atkins, Stephanie Cole, John Fortune, Rita May, Barunka O'Shaughnessy, Tom Price and Geoffrey Whitehead. It was written by Christopher Douglas and Andrew Nickolds. The producer was Dawn Ellis.